Friday, the end of the working week, and the start of a time where Eagles fans can just relax. Wait, what's that? Oh God. Yeah, Friday wasn't exactly the most relaxing day in the world for Eagles fans. There were news of Carson Wentz being aggressively traded for, and then there were reports that no team was interested at all, and then there were reports that the Bears were front runners and that the Colts were front runners, and quite frankly, I don't think anyone knows what is going on with the Eagles quarterback right now, but the question is, what should the Eagles do with Carson Wentz? I think it's all of a sudden gone from 0 to 100 that the team are indeed looking into a trade. Whether they're trying to drum up a market through pushing these reports out, or whether this is a legitimate thing, the Eagles are trying to move on from Carson Wentz. And in today's video, we're just going to go over some of the pros and cons of doing so. It's only right that we start with the pros, and perhaps the most important is that it will provide the Eagles with a total reset for a coaching staff that is just as fresh. Moving on from Carson Wentz would put an end to the short but sweet Doug Peterson era, and it means that there is no dead weight going on to that 2021 roster. And I don't mean to say that in terms of production, but you think that there is bound to be some ramification of this situation with teammates, with morale, with chemistry issues. We've heard about Carson Wentz's attitude. Nick Sirianni, as a first-year head coach, is going in to what can only be described as a quarterback controversy. There is no other way to look at it. There will be a training camp battle as of right now for the starting position. This isn't Sam Bradford, Carson Wentz training camp battle. This is, you've got $128 million in it, guy, and you've got a second-round pick, second-year player. So this could get nasty, and it is the last thing a team that is already wobbling, already teetering on the edge of utter disarray needs. Now, this wouldn't be pretty to begin with. I'm sure there will be some backlash and some reports of teammates being dreadfully unhappy, but the main thing is that the Eagles hit a cultural reset. They get rid of anyone that isn't fully bought into the coaching staff, to the team, to the city, and they build in Sirianni's way. That has to be the way the team moves forward. If Carson Wentz wants him, perfect. If not, you've got to look at facilitating a trade and getting rid of self-inflicted adversity. The second obviously comes down to the salary cap. Now, the Eagles would inherit $33.8 million in dead cap space, but that same value would pretty much be wiped off of their 2022 salary cap space, which at the minute they're currently ranked, you guessed it, 32nd in the league as well. This would be a move that begins looking at the bigger picture of a rebuild and not just, oh my god, we're 53 million over the cap, something needs to change. This is very much a full reset. And the third positive is that it is a culture thing. If Carson Wentz doesn't want to be in the building, he shouldn't be in the building. And it's the team's fault for failing him or for putting in that investment and not investing in him emotionally as well. However you want to look at it, Carson Wentz should not be there if he does not want to be there. If there was a rift between quarterback and coach last year, it should absolutely be severed. There should be no opportunity for Wentz to do the exact same thing for a rookie head coach who may be a bit more lenient than Doug Peterson was. This is bigger than Carson Wentz throwing a hissy fit after one bad year. It doesn't matter how much change this team makes if the man at the epicenter of it all doesn't want to be there. The impact on teammates and the locker room isn't even worth the hassle in a year you're supposed to be starting a brand new. We know that alpha mentality has caused issues in the past. They cannot risk it happening again. What about the cons of trading Carson Wentz? Well, on the inverse of the long-term salary cap benefits, there are short-term salary cap problems, and of course it reverts to that $33.8 million in dead cap, which for a team already $53 million over the cap isn't exactly ideal. Now, it's already expected that the Eagles are going to make some major moves, and there was some hypothesis about Darius Slay being traded. If they're to avoid any of that and having to gut the roster and get rid of guys who they really shouldn't be getting rid of, trying to avoid another $33.8 million might be a good idea. The second thing is that we've really seen enough from Jalen Hurts, and I know there are going to be two camps here, some really against the fact that in a short sample size there were some great bits from Jalen Hurts and some slightly concerning moments. We know for a fact that he has to improve his accuracy and stop attempting every play like he's got to naturally sprint outside and try and make it with his legs anyway. But if Lincoln Riley can turn him into a Heisman runner-up within one season, and Doug Peterson can shatter a Saints record with him, and he gets that team competitive in a season they had no business competing for a playoff run in, then what would a full off season with the coaching staff look like? The Eagles are going to have to fall one side or the other on that fence. But is it enough? Because if he's not the guy, then trading away someone that can play like an MVP caliber quarterback isn't your wisest move, especially if you go so all in on Jalen Hurts that you don't draft another quarterback this year. And if you do draft another quarterback this year, that creates its whole other wormhole of problems the team have to work through. There is a grand expectation the Eagles are going to put on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts if they trade Carson Wentz, and whether or not he's ready for it is a debate that will rage all off season long. I think he'd be fine. I think he's got the mentality to cope with it, but if he's not, it's a move that will set your franchise back much further than just the next few years. And the final thing is that it just reeks of being an absolute total failure. It's a needless explosion that just didn't need to happen. Doug Peterson didn't need to be fired. The coaching staff, all right, maybe that needed to be rebuilt, but Carson Wentz didn't need to be traded, and it reeks of desperation to maintain, outside of a Super Bowl, playoff mediocrity. You know, the Eagles haven't been able to do anything in the postseason, and I know they've been without Carson Wentz, and I know we can talk about this until the cows come home. Both of these things, after one subpar season, just look short-sighted, and it's like selling a stock after one red day, knowing it's already climbed up 80%. The light in which the Eagles are seen would change. The expectations would change. NFC East supremacy no longer on the dinner menu, boys. Instead, it's just simply trying not to dwell in the basement of the NFC East, which is still football's worst division. Guys, let me know what you think. Are you all in on trading Carson Wentz, or do you want to keep him around? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. From myself, Liam Jenkins, I'll see you next time.